Man, twice, man.
There you go.
I was just saying it's a wine kind of night, so cheers, everyone. It's been a day, so yeah, cheers.
It's been a wine kind of night. You gonna tell us a little bit about that? Oh, before you tell us about that, what I want you to do for me, I want you to, introduce yourself to the new listeners out there to let them know who you are and what's happening with you with Joy Tribe, or what is Joy Tribe.
Yeah. Um. So I can still hear music in the background. Is that?
Oh, yeah. Well, not anymore. It's all gone away.
I love it, but I was a little distracted.
Okay,
but I loved it. I am Erin. I'm a self-love and divorce recovery coach, and I help women and men become their own heroes or heroines of their own epic damn love story, whatever it may be.
Your own epic love story. Okay, so when you say that, it would give me a little definition when you say the epic love story, because I know you have some stories to tell us, but I want, we have new listeners. I just want to make sure that we get everyone.
Yeah. Yep. So I guess I can share my story, but I went through a divorce. I completely lost myself in that relationship, and was constantly worrying about what they thought, what they were thinking, and I was living my life for someone else, and I was living my life for society, because you're supposed to be married, you're supposed to have kids, you're supposed to have all of these things. When in reality, I didn't know this, but I wanted something completely different. So when I got out of that divorce, I basically woke up to my life and I was like, who the hell am I? Mm-hmm. What am I doing? And I went on this inner adventure where I was able to kind of discover myself again and find out what I liked and what I didn't like. And just learning who I was again. Because to be quite honest, even before that relationship, I didn't know who I was. And I feel like there's a lot of people in this world that are living up to people's expectations, society's expectations, your parents' expectations, your family, your friends. And it's really about when I came to start to let go of that and started to not care what people thought, that's when life started to open up for me.
Okay. So and tonight you have some stuff to share with us, because this is your third night right now on Pulze.
It's the second
night.
Yeah.
I thought it was the third already. I was like, wow.
No, you have me for way longer. I'm sorry, everyone.
Way longer, yeah. So since your second night, what did you have in store for us tonight?
Well, I'm basically going to be sharing more of my story, and can answer any questions that come in. So don't be afraid to ask a question, throughout this talk. But and it's not even really a talk; it's just a casual conversation, right? Yeah. Maybe we'll dive into some of your relationship woes.
Maybe.
Maybe, but we won't. We'll leave you alone. And I apologize. My cat is running around, and you can hear little mouse squeaky noises. So I apologize.
It's okay.
Anyways, so this week I actually recorded a very raw story for my own purposes, but basically I never really knew who I was, like, ever in my life. I constantly was living up to who my parents wanted. And let's be serious. My parents have been together for a very long time, and they have this love that, God, I feel like, anyone wants. And that's the kind of love story that I wanted. And yet, in my life, I kept trying to feel that in this like romanticized idea of love. And we get a lot of that from the media. And what, like, I grew up on Disney movies and Disney princesses and all of that stuff, that this man is going to come and save you. Your life is going to get so much better when you're going to be in a relationship. But how is your relationship with yourself? Whether you're in a relationship or not, you should know who you are, and that if you are not in that relationship anymore, that you're going to be okay, and that you have a life outside of that. Because I think what happens, and I mean, again, I am not in a committed relationship right now, but from my experience in being in a relationship and getting married and divorced, people can get wrapped in their lives and wrapped up with their partner, wrapped up with kids. And it kind of takes away from the life that, you should be living. So I feel like a lot of women take on this role of being the caregiver, and just trying to be able to help everyone and do everything, and not kind of sacrificing their life for other people. And when I was growing up, I never saw my parents fight, but that is no fault to them. But I didn't know that, fighting can happen. Like, sometimes fighting is good. And, having a relationship outside of your partner is good. It is not bad. It doesn't mean that you're, trying to like hang out with other people or like have that life and not include them. But it's allow you to cultivate this life outside of them, that you can come back together and you're not relying on them, but you can share in those stories and those adventures. And now if you are single, like myself, you are, and I know in a pandemic, it's pretty shitty to be single, but start really asking questions. What do you like doing? Is there any hobbies that you can take up? Is there, can you start painting? Can you do any of these things? Can you reach out to old friends and rekindle those relationships? Those are the things that are going to create this life that's full for you, so that when you do get into a relationship, you're not going to be reliant on them all the time. You're not going to be reliant on them for happiness. Because throughout all my life, I relied on another person for my happiness. And that's why I suffered from a lot of anxiety, and I suffered from a lot of OCD, because I didn't know who I was, because I was, my identity was a part of this other person or society or my parents. And I lived, and I wouldn't say that I lived a sheltered life, but being the oldest child, I was told that, oh, don't drink. Don't do drugs, don't have sex, all of the things. And in my mind, like, that was like, okay, red tape, can't do any of that stuff. And for so long, I was living up to this expectation of being the perfect daughter, the perfect, student. And that fell on the wayside, let's be serious. Just to be the perfect girlfriend or the perfect woman for another person. But in the reality, I needed to become the perfect woman for myself. Because when I got out of my divorce, I was living someone else's life. So that's kind of where the story is unfolding. And I mean, I sit here and I'm single, and I don't preach that, I know all about dating and relationships and marriage and divorce, because I don't. I'm learning every day, just like you guys are. But I feel like I want to share my experiences because I want to be able to help people resonate and maybe use the tools that I've used to get over that heartbreak and get over that divorce and feel the feelings, because there is a lot of pain that you feel when you lose someone like that and they're taken out of your world, and basically your world is gone because originally you didn't have one because it was always in the other person. So
Alana,
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, Alana is asking basically, how did you know when enough was enough?
Well, you know what the sad part is? It's not sad because hindsight is 2020. And this is the difficult part that I share because it is part of my story and it's my learning. But I didn't really say enough is enough. I had to have my partner basically disrespect me in a way that, where he was basically emotionally with someone else. And he ended up telling me he didn't love me anymore. And I mean, if I were him and with me at that point, I wouldn't want to be in the relationship either because neither of us were being the best people to each other. And that's something that I think about often, but I don't let it get to me anymore, that I let this happen. I let it go on for so long, and yet I still didn't do anything because I wanted so badly to not disappoint my friends, not disappoint my family, not disappoint any of the people in our lives. I didn't want to, go against society because, you're supposed to have a marriage. You're supposed to have a white picket fence and a house and 2.5 kids and a dog and all of this stuff. And I didn't want to ruin that. I didn't want to ruin that for myself because I thought I had a perfect life in front of me. So when it happened, I actually felt a sense of relief because for so long I had felt so much anxiety about being in this relationship. And I could have, you're probably sitting there, well, you stupid idiot, why didn't you get out of it? Well, it's much harder when you're in it and you want so badly for that life and you want so badly for that person to accept you and want to be with you. And I found myself a lot of the times grabbing at straws, but it literally didn't hit me. And until like even a year or two later, like really hit me about the importance of knowing yourself and having intuition and your gut feeling. Because if you don't know yourself and you're not able to listen to the voice inside of you, that's not anxiety, but that calm voice that's saying that this is not the right relationship with you, for you, you're just hurting yourself really, because it's every day that you deny that part of yourself, you're not living the other beautiful life that you could be living, in another world without this person. That is, not your person.
Yeah. So what about, Joanne is asking about separation, like 30 days after breakup. What do you think about that and why?
Separation?
Some people say that when you break up, it's best to stay away from each other for like 30 days, like a month. Would you think about that? For that person, actually,
It's hard. When we had separated, like we at one point were living in the same house for about a month. And it depends on the relationship. I mean, I would think that it would be awkward sometimes, and talking to other people, like it makes it hard. But if you're in a situation where, you know, you have to stay there, you have to be in the house, um, I think the best thing is to have communication and be able to talk to each other and say, okay, well, these are my boundaries. And, you know, here's what I need from you at this moment of time. Here is my plan. And see if you're living in the same house, like see if that works. I fortunately had the chance to move out of the house. So I do think that there is benefit of trying to separate each other through separation. But again, like I think it really depends on the relationship and the partners.
Someone else here is asking, what made you really decide to make this step to move forward? Was it the end of the relationship, or was it after you found yourself to really to start to make this step to move forward?
Yeah, I think it's all of it, really. Um, Getting out of that relationship and realizing that all of the anxiety that I had was just like my intuition festering inside. Like, not because I just pushed it down. I didn't want to listen. I'm like, shut up. I want to be in this relationship. But I think getting out of it and having a taste of life without that relationship and being broken at the end of it and feeling empty and asking the question, like, is this all there is? Like, really, is this all there is? And taking it day by day and, you know, feeling my feelings and hanging out with friends and doing the things that I mean, I understand that it's hard right now. And maybe that's a Zoom chat, you know, with your friends. Maybe it's a Zoom chat with your family. I think it was just really getting out of it and knowing that I didn't even know what I wanted to do. And I threw myself into jobs that I didn't even really like because I was just kind of floating around. And then, you know, after a while, I just kind of made a decision that I was going to start living for myself.
And I have Alan. He's asking, what do you consider if it's a good idea or it's a bad idea? He said he broke up a month ago and he started dating again. Do you think it was too soon after a month, or do you think that is a month is okay?
So that's a load. You guys are good with the loaded questions. It like was the breakup like a marriage or was it just
Yes,
the
he
like
just said he had a.
was it a long relationship?
All he said it was a breakup. He
Okay.
started
Well,
a month after. He said, "Do you think it's too soon?"
that question is hard, but I will try to answer it. And I mean, I've been caught in that situation, you know, often where I just wanted to get into a new relationship because I wanted to fill that void. I wanted to feel that hurt. I wanted to, you know, just jump back in and be happy, you know, thinking that this was the best thing. But I guess you have to ask yourself the question, is this relationship something I really want? Or is this something that I'm just doing because, yeah, she's whatever, pretty and funny and, you know, it's just something fun for right now because I'm very sad.
And again,
So,
he has some questions for you again. He's asking, "How did you know, or how do you know?
do you know about what?
How do you know that this person is, the person or not the person? I know you were saying that you made this person fill a void. How did you know that this person was just there to fill a void? When did you figure that out?
Well, I
How
didn't
do you
figure
fi-
that
how,
out.
and how do you figure that out? Because now you have him second thinking about his choices. So he wants to know how do
Oh
you
my goodness. Okay. Well, I think it's just being with yourself and really asking those questions. Get a journal and start journaling. Like, how do you feel with this person? How do you, do you feel like an inner tension? Like you should feel at peace with this person. And I cannot tell you to break up or date. That is completely your decision. And unfortunately, I can't really tell you. But I think when you know that it's filling a void, is that you are, like, in general, you are sad about your breakup. And you feel that maybe I didn't give it time. But I mean, if you have met this girl and, she has a lot of the things you like doing, like she has your values, like you see an actual future, then then great, see it through. And there's no reason why you can't do that. I would just question, getting into a relationship that quickly, that, these feelings of love or lust or whatever, it's feeling the sadness that you have. And I guess you just have to ask the question, like, are you still sad?
So my question is to you: what do you think in a situation like that? Do you think it's mainly lust than anything else?
I think there is like a very big sexual attraction. Like it feels very, hot and heavy, not like literally or figuratively, but just this feeling of like it's going really fast and everything's very intense. Love is, it's such a hard word to describe because love could be anything. I think love is, being in a place where you love your life and someone's adding to it. And it's adding this peace and this happiness that doesn't give you stress. You're not worried about things. Like you're not worried if they're going to text you back. You're not worried about, what's going to happen tomorrow. It's just a free flowing thing. And again, like love is different for everyone.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Because I always say there's two difference. You could be in love and you can love someone. It's two different. To me, it's two different things.
Yes. So on that is I was having a chat with my financial advisor, which hilarious. She is also my little coacharoo. But she has always said to me that when you talk about love, it's about like being in this circle bubble of love. You should be in love. Like you specifically should be in love and living in love and living and loving your family, your friends, what you do. And that other person is just an additive to your life. Because every day you should be living in love. And I know that's a very also subjective thing to say because everyone's life is different. And I know that everyone's going through hard times. But if you're able to see love every day in things and in your experiences, and you start loving the life that you're in, and you don't need any external happiness or love to add to your life, then that's living in love. So then anyone coming into your life at that point, whether they stay or go, it's not going to matter because you're living in love.
Yeah.
So
I guess she's your personal counselor too. I can see like
every coach has to have a coach. Yeah. I have lots of coaches that are for different things. She's a very dear friend of mine. Her name is Carly. Look her up. If you need to know, you can message me. But what she says rings so true. And now I'm in a place where I am living in love.
I have one more question here, and this is from Marcia. This one here is, I think, a little bit. Yeah, this is gonna be a tight question for you. She's asking.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, this is gonna be a tight one for you. She's asking about compromising. She's saying that her husband is following a dream, a business that he wants to do. She can see it failing miserably, but she doesn't know how to tell him. She said, what do I do? Do I still support him and watch it fail?
This,
Or do I try to save it, but yet it may make me the villain if it fails? Your advice. I told you this one is good.
like a marriage therapist. Honestly, as someone who has quit the corporate world and started her own journey with a new business and life aspirations, I think you're gonna have to let this one fly. Because if you say no to him, that could put a rift in your relationship because it makes him think that you don't
Support him.
trust him and support him. And if you love him, you not you have to, but like you should be supporting his dreams. And despite them failing, you kind of have to be there too when they fail. Because the next one, what if it flies?
Yeah.
You know?
Just don't go and say, I told you so. I told you it's gonna fail. Just don't do that.
Don't do, like that's the last thing I would do.
I told you it's gonna fail. You should listen to me. I'm the wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to hear that. So my thing with your company, say like someone wants to reach out to you, someone wants to get in contact with you. I saw you have your group page. Sure, advertise, let people know where they can find you if they want to reach out to you.
Yeah, so you can find me at www.thejoytribeco.ca. So that is my website, and you can connect with me there if you want coaching or anything like that. I have blogs. And if you want to join the group, you can reach out to me on Facebook. So if you join the Joy Tribe Co. Facebook group, then there is a special link that I can send to you. But either way, if you want to message me on the Joy Tribe Co. on Facebook, I will give you any of the links that you need.
Awesome. And what's next for next week? What are you going to surprise us with next week? Well, don't make it a surprise. Let the people actually prepare themselves for it. What are you going to have us for next week? Because
you know what, I'm gonna let them be surprised. Okay. Because I think the mystery of life is very much not used anymore. So it'll be a surprise.
One more for you.
Yeah.
This is from Matthew. Matthew is saying to answer your question, I think that you're right that you should support him, but I still think that you should be able to talk to him to let him know where his failures lies.
100%. 100%. I think that you can voice your opinion, but in the end, he's going to need to do his thing, and you have to support him.
Yeah, totally agree. So is there anything you want to leave for anyone out there before you go?
Honestly, just start exploring your life. How do you feel about certain things? This is the perfect time. We're still kind of stuck in this freaking awful pandemic.
Yeah.
But take this time to explore. What do you like doing? How do you feel about certain things? And yeah, just explore. Life is all about exploring.
Awesome. Well, Aaron, I want to thank you very, very much. Guys, this is Aaron. This is the Joy Tribe Coaches. Will be here every single Wednesday at 8 p.m. And once again, before you go, we have some listeners that came in between. Just let them know before you go, what is the Joy Tribe?
So the Joy Tribe Co. is a community for people looking to find themselves again. So creating that self-love to become the heroine or hero of your own adventure but mostly your own epic damn love story.
I want to thank you very much, Erin. We will do this again next week, same time, same place, same station. You have a fantastic evening.
Thank you. And you know what, guys? If you have any suggestions for topics that you want to talk about, I'm all ears. So just send them through.